Welcome to The Real Build. I'm your host, Bill Reiman, your broker builder. And today I got a special guest coming from Melbourne, Florida, a good friend of mine. Happy to have him on here today. He sources, secures, and manages the sale of rare limited production exotic vehicles for his clients across the country. He creates, builds, and fosters relationships with UHNWI and HNWI. You're going to have to explain those to me through the services he provides, along with the opportunities he brings to the table. He is also licensed. He is also a licensed Florida and Montana real estate agent, which allows him to continue to build his relationships with current clients and service them within the real estate industry. He is passionate about his clients, making deals, and growing overall. Jesse Piccolo, welcome to The Real Build. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Bill. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate you reaching out and allowing me the opportunity to join your podcast. I'm a big fan of yours and everything that you're doing. And just happy to be here and share some value with your viewers.
Yeah, man. I was happy to have you on. I've been meaning to ask you to come on too, because I see what you're doing. I see kind of and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Is I see kind of how you're mixing the luxury auto market and sales with that into the luxury real estate market. I've had a lot of builders on here. I kind of wanted to at least have another real estate professional on here. You got a different angle with what you're doing too, which is awesome.
Right.
They both mesh really well, and we're going to get into that today. So happy to have you. But with that being said, so let's talk about who is Jesse Piccolo.
As a father to three beautiful daughters, happily married. I live here in Melbourne, Florida. Like you said, I'm in the real estate industry as well as brokering luxury cars. But who I am as a person is overflows into my my business career. So I take a lot of who I am and apply it in my business, which makes me very successful. And that is I'm very resilient. I'm a warrior for sure. And I just embrace the journey, and I try to bring value and light to every person that I meet. And so that's pretty much who I am. And as we carry on this interview, you'll learn more about who I am as we talk about what exactly it is that I do. So.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of. I watch your stories all the time on Instagram, man, and you're very powerful in what you say, your message, and everything that you deliver too. And that's another reason I wanted to have you on here. Like you said, you're trying to be a shining light to everybody you meet, and that's amazing right there. Just you saying that, because not everybody's like that, and that goes a long way in your business too. Just your personality, who you are, how you present yourself, and so on, and actually wanting to help people and help change and make their lives better, and so on. I see that with you, so that's why I was excited to have you on today as well. Let's discuss a little bit more. How did you get into real estate? I know you got into luxury cars and selling that. How'd you start? Let's start there. Then obviously that went into real estate. So let's discuss that a little more.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of love telling this story because it really opens up the mind to a lot of people who are trying to get started in business or looking to bring their idea that they have to the forefront. And, I'll say that getting started is definitely just the hardest part. But once you start, it becomes natural, kind of like learning to walk when you're a baby, So how I got started first in brokering luxury cars, which ultimately led me to, brokering luxury real estate is, I had just got out of my corporate job working at Hertz Rental Car, fresh out of college. I wanted to get a corporate job so that my outside family and that the world could not look at me and tell me that I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing. Hey, I got a corporate job, nobody can tell me anything. I got full benefits, I got salary, hey, I'm living the American dream, right? So I got out of that because I realized I was worth way more than making, $550 a week and hustling people on car coverage that they really couldn't afford. And so my cousin was like, hey, we just opened up this company down here in South Florida, Luxury Concierge. We're going to broker watches, high-end cars, purses, whatever, all to wealthy people. And I was like, get to build relationships with wealthy people and broker really expensive stuff. sign me up. I'm good at that. I've always been a hustler, and I've always been good with people. So from there, that was right at the end of 2016, 2017. So I had no network. Didn't know anybody in the game. Really didn't know anything about cars. Couldn't tell you the differences between makes and models, but I learned that as I went. And so I knew I had to build relationships with high net worth individuals. So I said, okay, where can I go to find these people? So I started calling private sellers on cars.com, on Auto Trader, guys who had their Porsches and their Ferraris for sale. And just started asking them, hey, how you doing? Can I help you sell your vehicle? I see it's listed for sale. Some guys would be like, yeah, sure, go for it, but I'm not paying you. I'd be like, okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I would take their cars and pitch them to car dealerships like Porsche dealers, Ferrari dealers, secondary dealers. They would give me numbers. I would take them back to the sellers, and we'd make deals. So now I'm making relationships with high net worth individuals, which is HNWI. And some people would actually be ultra high net worth individuals, which is UHNWI. And so from there, I build relationships with those guys and dealerships. Now I'm starting to get both sides of the coin in the industry, which is what you need, because dealerships can provide you cars and referrals, more high net worth individuals. If they don't have the car that their clients are looking for, they could call me and I could get them the car. And individuals, once I complete a deal with them, that relationship gets solidified for real. It's kind of like when you get to first base or second base with your girlfriend, it's like, hey, we're there, I trust this guy and we can do deals. I can refer him more people. So once I started building my network from there, I'd go to car auctions. I'd see who'd be bidding on cars that they would miss out on, $1 million cars. I'm talking $2 million, $3 million cars. And I'd go right up to them and I'd be like, how you doing? Jesse Piccolo, I'm a car broker. This is my company. I can help you get the car that you just missed out on. And then boom, I'd get another fish. I get another contact and just build my network from there. And so it was about 2 years into it in 2018, the beginning. I was sitting there and I was like, man, I don't know what to do. I have no car deals working. I don't know what to do right now. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get my real estate license, because car brokering is like the wild, wild west. There is no rules. There is no structure like there is with real estate, where you have protocols, rules and regulations, contracts. It's literally, every deal is so different. So I was like, if I could sell $1 million car, I'd like to sell $1 million real estate. Plus, majority of my clients are involved in real estate, right? Because that's where people put a lot of their money and they invest in real estate. So I was like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I need something to do. And I'm going to bring more value to the table for my clients, because I've already got the relationship. I built the trust. All I can say is, hey, I sell real estate now too. And you want to move to Florida, or you have property in Florida? Hey, I'm your guy. And so that's exactly what I did. And then from there, I had a great client of mine give me, 5 oceanfront lots here in Melbourne, Florida to sell. We accomplished that this year, which is great. And then had a client put me down as a co-listing agent on this beautiful house in Marathon, Florida for $12.9 million, Coco Plum. So that's kind of how it all evolved, and now I just got my Montana real estate license because a car client of mine has multiple lots out there, and he likes the way that I do business. He wants to see me win. He wants to see me succeed, and that comes a lot from being who I am just as a person. Because when these guys who are super successful, when they see that, and anybody for that matter, when they see somebody who they can connect with and they see does good business, they genuinely want to help, because they're in a position to help. So if I can do the work and provide a great service, they're going to provide me the staircase to continue to climb that ladder of success, and just keep coming through for them. So that's kind of the background of how I got involved in the cars and the real estate and built my network up to be where I am today.
I love that, man, because you started with one thing and you found that you took that opportunity into the next thing. And for people that listening out there, people ask me too, on the building end, all right, I'm starting in the building end of things. Why not get a real estate license and sell real estate? They go hand in hand, just like with the luxury cars. People with luxury high-end cars, Porsches, Lambos, stuff like that, they're dealing real estate all the time. You're making those connections on that sale. Why not keep those connections and go into even higher sales with real estate? And that's the way, everything kind of goes hand in hand. So there's opportunity everywhere, and you're finding that opportunity right now, you just got licensed in Montana. There's an opportunity out in Montana. You live in Florida. I mean, we're on the other side of the country, but you're still willing to wheel and, make stuff happen, which is awesome. And it's the same way with me. Like, they went hand in hand. I just sold a teardown house. I mean, a $3 million teardown house that we're going to tear down. We're going to get the build. I'm probably going to do their home watch after if they ever sell the house later on. I'm probably going to get the listing. So it's maintaining those relationships. So the realtors out there that are listening, even clients that are listening, you want to find somebody like Jesse that literally can help you in all departments of your life. That's the thing. And you are kind of that concierge to them. And I always say this with real estate agents, if you're not acting like a concierge, you're losing the game, man. Because these people, they got a lot of money. They don't want to deal with a lot of stuff because they're busy. They want somebody they can rely on. That's it. Do the deal for me. Get me a house, sell my house, do whatever, and let this thing be done.
It's all about the value that you bring to the table. There's, getting your real estate license is not rocket science. They make it very easy, and there's a real estate agent on every corner. So, how are you going to separate yourself from your competition? How are you going to be different than your competition? And really, for me, it's who you are as an individual. Are you putting your intentions first before your clients? Are you putting what's best for you before your clients? Or are you really out here trying to do what's best for your clients, looking for every opportunity, every angle to save them time, save them $1 maybe, and just go the extra mile for them? And when people see that, it shows good character, it shows light in the world, and it shows like, hey, I see the hard work you're doing. And if I do stumble and make a mistake, they might be more okay with it because they know that I'm trying my best and I'm trying to do everything I can for them to get them what it is that they ultimately want as easy as possible. So, I see a lot of real estate agents putting the dollar before the relationship, how I like to refer to it. And, that's a short-term game, and you're not going to be in it for the long run, and your reputation is everything. So if you can build a good reputation, it might take 3 to 5 years, but after that, it's just all word of mouth and it's just referrals. And now the business just comes to you, and you don't have to stress and grind to go and get it like you did in the beginning. So, really do what's best for the client at all times, and your reputation will take you, where you need to be.
One thing you said there too is putting the dollar before the client too, and that is a big issue because they're so focused on the commission check rather than the actual process and helping them through as much as possible. When you switch that mindset in real estate too to where it's all about helping the client, the commission's going to come. Yeah, money's great in real estate too, but if you switch that mindset to where it's all about helping them, things change dramatically too. And for the people that are listening out there right now as well, I mean, you could be a commercial builder, get a commercial real estate license. You get the best of both worlds. You're building, you're finding property, you're finding reno properties, you're doing certain things like that. Same with the residential market, like I'm doing. You can do rent. People always ask us if we do renovations. We don't. That's a whole nother market we can possibly get into, but we just rather stick to new construction. But it's like you're doing, man. Like you can sell them a high-end car. You're building that trust on the high-end car market because, I mean, they have to build trust with you on a car like that, hands down. And then hey, you strike conversation. You deal in real estate. I also got a real estate license. You ever need help with that? Because that first transaction is going to go so well. Why wouldn't they use you for the next transaction on the bigger thing?
Exactly. I kind of think, and that's kind of like what Vet Adventures will grow into, is a one-stop shop brokerage firm for all of these clients. Because how I look at it, if I want to provide the best service I can and be as valuable as I can to the client, I believe that you should trust me more than anybody else, because I know what I'm going to do for you as an individual, as your concierge, as your broker, because I'm always going to have your back. Like, that's it. Because I know, I'm 32 years old. I know that if I do everything I can for these people and they genuinely appreciate it and see the effort that I'm giving, then I know that I'm in a position to learn and grow from them and with them. For me to be able to grow and become more successful, because that's just what it is. that's how the world works. And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I get with these clients, and I make sure I try to go above and beyond. And some work out, some don't, but those that do work out, they intensify and they multiply every single year. So, I don't need maybe 100 clients and go keep finding new clients. Kind of like how you said, I'm going vertical with my clients. I'm just adding more to the table for them so that they can contact me for everything it is that they ultimately need. And that's what I want.
So going into the next thing, let's discuss Vet Adventures. So how you touched on this a little bit. So how did you start this? Why Vet Adventures? How is it going now? What's the future like? You kind of brought up the future a little bit. So let's go deeper into what is Vet Adventures.
Sure. Vet Adventures is my new company. When I first came into the industry brokering cars, like I said, my cousin had asked me to come into his business, which was called Veltricon Automotive. And I actually became a 33% owner in that from doing so well. They wanted me to become a partner. So I did. And then, actually bad business practices were being taking place. So that caused the company to crumble, basically, like separate, everybody go their separate ways. And so I was like, well, I love our logo. I was like, I'm just going to change the name to Vet Adventures, and so that's what I did. And Vet Adventures is a exclusive ecosystem online with my clients and trusted partners, to where everybody can have access to all the opportunities that are constantly available from my clients. Because when I get opportunities, I have to take them directly to my clients, like individually. And that can take time. That can be, not so genuine in building relationships. So again, if I want to provide the best services that I possibly can to my clients, like I said, I want to create that one-stop brokerage firm, then I want all my clients to come to me. I want them to constantly want to see what is available as far as limited production and exotic cars, real estate opportunities, private jets, luxury watches, eventually yachts. Like I said, I want to build Vet Adventures into a one-stop shop brokerage firm where there's a division for each luxury asset, somewhat like, you building the houses. You have a contract, you're the contractor, the builder, but then you have to subcontract out your plumber and your electrician and everything. So you build these relationships with the guys who you can trust, vice versa for me in each industry. So right now we're just tackling the real estate and the luxury cars, and I will be building my team over the coming years, because right now I'm just a one-stop shop, but eventually we will have a person in each division managing that luxury asset, and I will build relationships with luxury realtors across the country, like I currently am now. And yeah, that's basically what it's going to be. And the big term goal is to do business with my clients. So by providing these services, I'm opening up the door to build these relationships with them, get closer with them. But how I always looked at it is if I have an idea or an invention or a business proposal, I have the clients to bring it to the table and possibly put it all together. Because each industry in each corner of the country, and we're doing business as it is, but hey, I want to get into business with you guys because, again, you're already super successful. You have great experience, great knowledge, great connections, great network, and that's the big picture. So.
Yeah, I love that though, because it's a one-stop shop, a true one-stop shop too, on the luxury high end of things. And like we brushed on earlier too, is that if you're in that luxury market for certain things, you don't always have time to deal with those things, getting those things. You don't have time to shop for a watch or time to shop for, you want a specific car, you want a specific color. You're not going to have the time to go to the dealership. You want somebody to broker it, find it for you too. And yet, and when you're dealing with high end people like that, that's what they want, because they're high end business people too. They're dealing with running their businesses. That's what's making them the bread and butter. And
Right.
so they need somebody like yourself to go in there and complete all these things for them too, and help them out, because time like we go back to time is money. Time's the most important thing we have, and we don't have a lot of it. So
Right. And these guys want to do business with people who they trust. So when I say it's an exclusive private marketplace, I'm just not letting any Joe Schmo in there to have access to, their most prized possession, because a lot of these, you know, they need discretion. And so when they do business inside Vet Adventures, they know that they're doing business with somebody who they can trust, because I essentially am that bridge of trust between two clients. Because, when I get a request for, say, like a LaFerrari or Porsche 918, where do I go to get the car? I go to my clients. They have the cars, and if they don't, then I go to my dealers or my other brokers that I work with, and their clients will have the car. So essentially, Vet Adventures is just bringing all the clients into one place with full discretion, and allowing the deals to just ping off of each other, because essentially that's who they're buying and selling from, is themselves, just of a different person. So it just kind of makes the process a lot more efficient, and kind of builds a brand that the clients can hopefully get involved with, and do events. And again, I just want to provide a great experience for the clients through each asset category. So
yeah, and what you're doing too is all about relationships. No matter what, you have to, and it's not just with the client; it's with meeting outside sources, like you said. So you're constantly having to meet new people, constantly having to learn new things as well, learn new vehicles. I remember when I sold cars too, I had to learn every vehicle on that lot, and if I didn't learn it, I ended up being their top salesman because I was the youngest one in that dealership. I've told this story before, but had no clue when I went in there, never sold a car before. And what I did is back when they had brochures, they had this brochure room. I went in the brochure room, grabbed every brochure on every single vehicle in that place, and learned every single thing, wrote it on notepads, brought
right.
those notepads to work, read off the notepads until it was mentally in my brain implemented, and became one of their top salesmen there, just because
Boy, I
learning
I
yeah. And learn, I mean that's what it took, because there was one guy there, and he pissed me the hell off. He was their top salesman, wouldn't even give me the time of day, wouldn't acknowledge me. I go, I'm gonna beat this guy. And the only way to do it is to learn exactly what these are. I was the youngest. I knew I could beat all these old guys too, and I did. And I had a lot of success at it. And then obviously that has kind of helped me today. I give my car sale background kind of a lot of credit to my real estate background, because I don't think without that sales experience I had there, I wouldn't be where I am today as well. So everything kind of meshes together also.
how it evolves. Like I've always been in the business of brokering something, or helping people get what it is that they want. And I always find myself looking back, like, how the hell did I get here? Like, I'm selling dollar cars. What? Like, what? It's crazy. And I'm not even in a car dealership. It's nuts.
It
So
is. I mean, it is, man. It's crazy. It's a stepping stone. And what people don't understand that get into real estate too. And I preach on this. I've been doing real estate for over 10 years. And back in the day, I wasn't even close to where I am now. Now I have people calling me to help them find properties and tear downs and lots and so on,
mm,
because I've built that trust too. I've labeled myself as that kind of go-to person for that kind of stuff, because they know I have that construction background, which they respect, which I've also sold myself on too, but it's taken years to get there. A lot of realtors get in it. The market's crazy now. So there's a ton of realtors, as you
right.
know. A lot of them are getting into it now. I'm going to go get my real estate license. I had a friend of mine, he's a charter captain, and he told me the other day, he's like, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license because I got like 100 and something people come on my boat. I go, are you going to have, my response to him was, I go, good for you, but are you going to have time doing what you're doing now to deal and give the best service to those clients on the real estate end? He never responded.
Yeah.
So it was really making them think about that, because a lot of people, they got these jobs and they're like, I can be a real estate agent and do what I do, but it's not that easy. You don't just get a license and go do it. You're obviously you know, hand in hand is what with what you're doing with the cars, you're dealing with the houses, but it's not easy dealing with all the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. It's and that's why I'm excited to eventually build a team and get people under me. But I'm in such a niche market that, you know, it's tough to find people to bring on who can want to make that sacrifice that's going to take for probably a year, maybe a year and a half, you know, to, you know, get up off your feet and build a network and eventually, you know, help the company grow and start to make some serious money. Yeah. So, but
No doubt it's going to happen, man. Let's go into this a little bit, though. Obviously, the luxury cars and the real estate market, you talked about, you know, getting into high end things overall, mixing the two, the cars and the real estate. How can you make the client experience better overall? What are you doing just for the listener? What should they be looking for if they're looking for somebody like yourself?
um, you know, mixing the two, what you can be looking for, you know, in any sales, you just got to listen to what the client actually needs and do what it is you say you're going to do. Follow through, because a lot of times the trust can be broken or not even allowed the opportunity to start just based off of the smallest little things. Attention to detail is very key. You know, these guys are so smart, and sometimes I think they're setting you up to test you. And you know, many times that's how you have to look at it. So, you know, I would just say that look for the opportunities because they're always there, and listen to what your clients say. Even like if your client drops like, hey, oh, I can't meet you today because my anniversary is, you know, that Friday, you know. So it's like, write that down, you know, take advantage of every little thing to show the client that you're listening to them, and just build that relationship, and eventually it'll probably turn into a friendship, and, you know, just open up the door for more opportunities.
Listening is the biggest key too that anybody can do. That was huge right there, just because, and I've talked about it on this show a million times. In any business, you just have to listen, especially in the construction business. I mean, we're in the high end house market. We have to listen to everything. If we miss something, a little mistake can turn into a huge mistake and a costly mistake on our end too. So we're constantly having to listen and make sure things are done correctly too. Same with real estate. I mean, there's a lot of little parts to a transaction, especially a big transaction, that you can't miss something, you can't mess it up. You want the client's experience to be the best experience too. I'm dealing with one now that the seller wants to stay in the property after the property closes for 4 months. So
Mhm.
I'm just trying to cover my client on the insurance end and everything like that as much as possible, as he's going to own the property with a random person he doesn't know living
Mhm.
in there, even though it's the person that owns it now. You just
Yeah.
never know. What are they going to do? Have a party? You just don't know. Somebody falls, slips, whatever. So it's figuring out those little pieces, listening to what your clients want, and then over delivering to just make sure, because he doesn't have time to deal with the insurance end of this or the
Right.
paperwork end. So I got to find the right paperwork and everything to make sure he's covered by Florida
Right.
law and everything. So listening's huge, man.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. Find those opportunities to go the extra mile is definitely important for, you know, the customer experience, and, you know, it's how you're going to make them remember you and make them think about you after you're gone. You know, so just little things.
What about things to look for? So things to look for in a luxury car and how it relates to real estate. So when you're selling a luxury car, what are you looking at, and how can we relate it to a real estate transaction like selling a house? I mean, they could go hand in hand. There's a lot of pieces to a car, but there's a
For sure.
lot of pieces to a house.
You would be surprised though, man. It's nuts the way these. I just had a client buy a car based off of one photo, one picture. Never saw the car in person, just saw the exterior photo. But the car had delivery miles, you know, but still, that's all he needed to see. Um, but when you go into more detail and you need to do a little bit more research and background on the car, like you definitely would when you're buying real estate, you know, you want to look at the DMU report, which is the engine. Has the car been over revved by, you know, somebody driving the shit out of the car and just beating it up on the track or something, because then you're going to have problems with the engine. So, that could be like an inspection of the house, looking at, what the eyes cannot see when you're going to buy a house, and getting it inspected to make sure, there's not mold in the walls, the foundation isn't steeping in, the roof isn't going to collapse, make sure you're not buying a POS when it looks beautiful on the outside. So what to look for more in depth in a luxury car is the paint. On a lot of these limited production exotic cars, if the car's been repainted, the value is not worth what it is if the paint is original. Even if there might be a couple blemishes, it's going to hurt the value of the vehicle. So, I guess you could say that would kind of be like if, the house caught on fire a little bit, and it had to be rebuilt, one of the walls through like an electrical fire or something. And, now you can't see that, but it needs to be disclosed on, the disclosure statement. What else with like cars? I mean, with the cars, man, it's nuts. Like I said, it's man, and they just wire the money like no questions asked. They would definitely not act like that, with real estate the way their car. But they buy them, they drive them for 600,000 miles, 3,000 miles, and then they sell them. And that kind of flows into like the last question that you had asked is, why are you buying the car? Let me ask the client, what are you buying this car for? And most times I know why they're buying it, depending on what the car is, whether it's a rare collectible car with low miles, and the car's like 20 years old, or if it's, a 2018 standard production car like a Ferrari 488, where you can just go to the dealership and buy one. That person's only going to want to keep that car for like a year and then sell it and get the next hot model. You have your collectors and you have your, your enthusiasts, and your enthusiasts, they just have like one to two, maybe three cars, and they're not really collector. They don't care about the values of the cars the way the collectors do, because they watch the markets. So I would compare like your enthusiast to your standard home buyer who might have his primary home and then like one or two rental properties that he makes money off of. And then your collector would be like your real estate investor who just owns a shit ton of properties and watches the markets and is always looking for opportunities and is calling you, the builder broker, like, let me know if you guys got any houses for sale or that go in foreclosure that the bank wants to sell that I can pick up at a good deal. The market's good down there. And that just kind of goes hand in hand with the collectors. These guys, they're so stingy with the markets. It's like, oh, that's not the market on the car. It's like, well, are you buying this car because you're playing stocks, or are you buying this car because you really love it and it's rare and you want it? And it's kind of like a mix of both. But like any businessman, and why they are super successful is because they're smart and they watch the markets and they know that timing is necessary and there'll be another one that comes available. So, and I'm sure that's similar to how it is in real estate. Not every deal is a good deal just because it looks beautiful and pretty on the outside. And you're like, oh, I got to have it. At the end of the day, you're making a large investment. You're spending a lot of money. You need to make sure that money is protected and has the best chance to appreciate over time. So.
Isn't that crazy though, how they go kind of hand in hand? I mean, with what you just said too, it is crazy how they actually go hand in hand, and the way people look at certain aspects of real estate on the real estate side. If they're buying a personal house, that experience and the transaction is going to be a little bit different than if they're buying an investment property. There's not going to be so much emotion to that purchase versus an investment property. There's going to be less emotion, but there's going to be more financial. Okay, how can I save money, make the most money, so on? I'm going to make this into a rental property, whatever. I don't need the best thing versus their personal property. I want this, I need that,
Yeah, it's got to look. So I don't like the color of those wheels. Oh, I don't like the color of the house. Well, that can be repainted. You can change that. Oh yeah, well that takes time, whatever. It's like, okay. And to each their own. It's how whatever their net worth is, it's irrelevant. But it's just funny, that people are wired the way they are, and you get to see that when you do in-depth business with them, and there's a lot of money on the table, and it's cool to see. So and that's how you learn the client. What to expect and how to handle them in every single transaction as you move forward. Same thing with like an investor. You got a guy who only wants single family homes. Okay, I'm not gonna pitch him an apartment building. You got a guy who only wants multifamily. You're not gonna pitch him a single family home. But you can have conversation with him about the multifamily homes if he only wants single family, because he probably knows somebody who is an investor in multifamily homes. And because you have that great relationship with him and he trusts you, he'll say, oh, that's not for me, but I have a buddy who would be interested. And then, he passes you along and you give him that same experience.
Yeah, and it goes back to experience too, and listening, like we talked about, and hearing exactly what they're looking for as well. I mean, I've had transactions that I've dealt with where they were working with other agents and did not find anything. They came to me on the building end of things, and I was like, "So you're still looking for a property for as far as to build on?" Yeah, we haven't found anything. We're looking. I'm like, all right, let me look real quick. I've been in this long enough. I don't care about stepping on toes. It's a
Yeah,
dog eat dog world out there, man. This is
it
real
is.
estate. Welcome to real estate. But it's so I'll look, I'll find them something instantly because I listen. I go, so what are you looking for? What's exactly kind of your wants, needs, everything, exposures, what ways the house want to face, all the stuff. Do you care about as far as how high the house sits? There's a lot of factors that I ask, and then once I get all that down, boom, pinpoint a house. I've found one within an hour versus another agent taking them around for months. So, and then I send it to them. They go, wow, all right, let's write something up, or
Yeah,
go out. And first I always go look at the property for them. I go, well, let me go out there and look at it and actually walk around. And that's what I always do, kind of give my opinion on it, look at the neighboring houses, make sure they're not, rentals or whatever. Just something, especially if they're going to be there full time.
right.
You don't want a rental next door. And then, yeah, then we talk, we make the transaction happen, and boom, that's it. So it's just, it goes back to listening, man, doing the things
Yeah,
that a lot of other agents aren't willing to do because they're so transaction based. I'm in a transaction now with an agent, very high heavy hitter agent, but they're so busy that they don't focus on what they're supposed to do, and it's been 2 days. I wrote an offer. It was almost a full price offer. I haven't heard back anything. What's taking so long? You
and
know? So, and I got to reach out to her to find out, all right, what's going on with this? Why? And it takes forever to get a response. So, stuff like that to me, man. And that's why people love working with me. I'm sure with you as well, is just the response, like constantly
yeah,
responding. Even when I was sick all last week, that's why I didn't have a show. Everybody that's listening, basically on my deathbed, I was still responding, picking up the phone. People are like, "You sound horrible." I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is brutal, whatever I got, but how can I help you?"
yeah,
Just still picking up that phone when I didn't have to. I could have just texted something like, "I'm really sick," but no, I wanted to help. That's the
right.
difference maker. So,
Sure, absolutely. And it seems
so
like you do a great job at that, because every time I watch you, it seems like you do a project, you're selling the house, you're building the house. So,
yeah,
it's
I
all
mean, it's a lot of prayer, like, man, praying for opportunity. I
yeah,
constantly having people just reach out, but it's a lot of media, a lot of just, putting myself out there. I've been working hard on that for the last 4 years, doing this podcast, doing just telling people who I am and why to go with me. And the ones that aren't going to go with me, they're going to vet me out right away, right off the bat. Because if they don't like me, why should they call me? Versus, the ones that are going to go with me, they're going to reach out because they're going to see
right.
who I am right away through content and so on. So I've just been so big on that, pushing that. But it's response too, man. Like it irks me not to respond to somebody.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to put your foot down. Like I didn't respond to a guy. It was 8:30 at night last night. He was asking about permitting and how his house is going through permitting. I knew if I
mhm,
responded at 8:30 at that moment, he would think it's okay to contact me. And especially on the building end,
yeah,
with building, we have our office hours, so on too. And I'm usually very good about that, but I'm like, you know what? If I respond to this, it's a permitting question. It's not something urgent. I could wait till the morning. If I
right.
respond to this now, he's going to constantly reach out to me every time at 8:30 at night, you
Yeah, and then
know?
you also open up the door for a full-blown conversation over text messages, which is
Yeah.
gonna 15, 20 minutes longer. So it's like, I'm not gonna open this door right now
And
in the
that's family time, man. You
yeah,
gotta have some time where it's like family time and some you time too. It's like, and they get it. I mean, customers get it. If it's a real estate transaction and they need an answer right away. I mean, I've done real estate transactions till 12 midnight, past midnight, trying to get deals done and so on. That's part of the game. But there's just certain times too, and people that are listening to this that, sometimes you got to put your foot down, and it's okay to wait till the next day. But usually it's tough for me. I'm sure you're the same too. You kind of look at
Yeah.
that. You're like, should I asked my fiance too. I was like, should I respond to this? You sure? You think I should respond? So.
You know, who's the client? What's this about? No, you can wait. Oh no, you need to answer that.
Yeah, yeah.
I had one of my best clients calling me. I think it was like a Sunday afternoon, and we were sitting on the couch with the kids, like watching a movie or something. And he was calling me, and I looked at it, and she saw it, and like I kind of put my phone down. She looked at me. She goes, "Are you really not about to answer his phone call?" And I was like, right, you're right. So I got off the couch and went outside and took his call. I was like, I'm just gonna call him back, but I was just like, all right, yeah, no, let me answer this call. It's smart. So
yeah. I mean, even on Sundays, stuff like that. Like, I don't like answering people on Sundays, but sometimes you just have to too.
But yeah, you've also built your business up and have the credentials and the reputation to, you don't necessarily owe that to anybody now at this point in time in your career. Probably like year one when you were getting off, like you would have answered that phone anytime, giving Christmas church, whatever it is, because this is what you got to do. But you've earned that, and people need to respect that. So again, it's a two-way street, and teach them.
You just kind of learn your business. I mean, you kind of over time, you just kind of learn when and what to do and how to do it and when to answer and when it's important to answer. And there's certain transactions that need to be answered all the time, whether it's 12:30 at midnight or whatever. I mean, let's hope people don't call you then. But it's just you kind of learn doing it, as long as you do, how and when and why to answer certain things and people and so on too. And if, like I said, that last night was a permitting question at 8 a.m. this morning, I responded to them right away, and everything's good. So
responding like that first thing in the morning would show me, if I was that guy, like, okay, he saw my message last night and he moved it right to the first thing on his to-do list in the morning, start his day. That's as good as answering me, at 8:30 at night, So I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. Before we get into to wrap this up, time wise, before we get into some personal questions, walk me through a transaction with Vet Adventures.
Okay. I'll walk you through a transaction with it as it currently is right now, and then how it will be in the near future, because I'm having the platform and the whole website built right now. We're almost done. So I'll bring you through like my most recent transaction, which was a 2019 Heritage Ford GT that I sold for $1.25 million. Yeah, he said, we're emailing, and I know that he wants Ford GTs because he's a big collector. And he's like, hey, remember, just keep me in mind for, Heritage Ford GTs. And I said, I got you, we'll find you some, because I've already found him one, which he'll get in February. And now, he wants more because he's a sicko.
Good for him.
So I'm on Instagram, because Instagram's a great tool. And I know that none of my clients already have this car. And if they do, they're not selling it because they're collecting it. So I went on Instagram, DMing some people who I know have Ford GTs, and there's a Ford GT forum. And I told one of my old business partners, who I'm still cool with and do business, he knows my client, and he knows what he likes. So long story short, I get sent a car. I say, okay, price. Oh, he's gonna put it on bring a trailer, bring an offer. Okay, so I email my client and I say, hey, this is the deal. He's going to bring the car on, bring a trailer, but he'll take an offer now to avoid the hassle. The last car sold for $1.225 million. I got to pay the guy 10 grand, who's referring me the car. So, you want to go ahead and make your offer based off of our set commission structure that we have in place between each other, plus that 10 grand, meaning like, hey, I'm not going to tell you the price. You bring me the price because I'm working for you. What are you comfortable with offering, including the commission? And then I'll take it to him. And he made a great offer, an offer that I thought was super strong. So I went back and I started negotiating the deal on trying to get the price cheaper than what I knew I had on the table to build more money for myself, as well as save him the money. Because I would have told him, hey, I got the car cheaper, I saved you money and made myself a little bit more money. He would have been cool with that. He's a business person. So long story short, we got the deal done. From there, I draw up the bill of sale. I have both parties sign it with a copy of the title of the car attached to the bill of sale. Proof of window sticker, because he's a collector. He wants that window sticker. Once I have everything like that, he wires the money within 24 hours, sends the full amount. From there, the next day, the title, the window sticker, everything that goes with the car gets overnighted to him, which he's actually getting today. And then from there, I set up transport. If they need my assistance, I have my transport contacts. Again, save them the time, the hassle. Who do I trust? Set the transport up. 9 times out of 10, I'll just go ahead and pay for the transport, and I'll invoice them with the commission, and I'll provide that receipt. Then from there, the car gets picked up. Once the car gets picked up, I let them know the car's picked up, send them pictures, videos, and then when the car arrives, they'll get notified. The car shows up, and from there, that's how the deal goes down. So that's pretty much how transactions go down. Primarily, every deal is different right now. And then in the future on Vetted Ventures, it'll just be listings, kind of like on Dupont or Auto Trader. But you won't know who the seller is. They'll contact me. From there, deposits will get made to Vetted Ventures. If the car needs inspection, like to go to a Porsche dealer, Ferrari dealer, what have you, deposits will be made to Vetted Ventures. Will act as escrow. And then once the deal goes through contracts, titles, transferring, the money will be initiated to the seller, and then the buyer will get the car. And then it's full transparency on commissions for, the real estate, the jets, the cars. So there's no like hidden money. My clients know what I'm making. There's no loopholes. There's no nothing. And then if a client has a friend who is a buyer for a luxury asset on the platform, I will kick back that buyer or that client who referred me the buyer, say 10 to 20% of the total commission, right, in the sale. And that money will go to their personal profile, to where that money is like credit. So you could use that money that you make off of giving me referrals to buy secondary items or services within each luxury asset category, like rims, clearball, pay for transport, whatever you need. Or you can cash out that money at the end of every quarter, and I'll kick you back your cut. And a lot of guys, they'll be like, I don't need to make money off of, my friends or anything like that. It's like, well, no, that's not the point. Don't look at it like you're making money off your friend. Look at it like you're bringing more value to Vetted Ventures by helping us grow organically through your network, because that's how business is. I can't do all the business that I want to do with just my clients, because sometimes I don't have a client for that asset, or I don't have a seller who has that car. But you guys, my clients, you definitely do. So how do I entice my clients to help us grow organically, to stay exclusive, and to continue to close more deals and provide more opportunities, which essentially is what these guys want. And that's by letting them benefit from the deals that we do. And then you'll have that money, and then you can spend that money with inside the network, or spend it on secondary services, what have you. But that's just kind of how the deals will go down and inside the network.
It's smart, man. It really is. Well, I mean, and it's crazy once again how close a transaction in a car is to a real estate transaction. You're just selling it a lot faster,
Right.
too. Which, man, I got to start selling cars again. So now, but
About it, it's like you have these relationships with these people. It's like, what more can you do for them inside your niche? That, like I said, I'm just going vertical. I'm still providing the same services that I provide when I'm selling a car, and I'm just going to bring it to the next asset category, which requires the same services, due diligence, same process. So like, why would I have my client, if I want what's best for them, why would I have my client deal with one jet broker, one real estate agent in this state, one real estate agent in this state, one car broker here, this guy over here? Like, why not just deal with one?
Yeah.
And why not brand and a company that your clients can get behind, be a part of by participating in the deals, getting rewarded for it, and having a great experience overall. You know, I want to take my clients on rallies around the country and invite them to Daytona 500 or Rolex 24. You know, give them tickets. You know, partner with jet charter services. You know, so that, you know, maybe that money that they make off the commission and the deals, they can apply that money to charter a jet to go fly. You know, and they don't even have to pay for it. It just comes right out of their credit, and I pay for it. And then it's like a tax write-off for me. You know, it's just like a win-win-win for everybody. And that's ultimately what I want to create. And that's why, you know, my tagline is, you know, together we all win with Vet Adventures, because it is a bunch of guys who are vetted, and we're all going to venture together to do business together and create opportunity and bring value to one another.
Well, you got a luxury builder on your side too, so you because I'm down to work with you, obviously, too, knowing you, and I see the drive, man. I love it. It's similar to me, but it really is all about just finding, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't think to do that. Like, I've done it with like Home Watch and like adding that opportunity to our clients as well after we're done building a house, you know, because it's so seasonal. They need somebody to look after their home while they're gone too, you know, and walk through it and make sure everything's running correctly. And I just got a listing. I had a Home Watch for 6 years with a client of ours, and he decided to sell his house and move back to Michigan. They were an older couple, but I got the listing, you know, and we built the house 6 years ago. I sold them the house on the build end of things. So it's keeping those relationships, but just over delivering too, like you're saying, and everything stems into something. I thought about starting a rental business. I'm not there yet. Rentals are a whole different ball game. You know, you got to talk about 24-hour calls right there.
Where you just see the opportunity, you're like, okay, we can get into that, and then that can lead into that, and then
yeah.
Oh man, I want to build this conglomerate company.
Yeah.
So good for the business.
That's true, man. And there's a lot of people that don't have that drive to do it. They don't want to deal with it, and good for them. That's fine. You want to go home, sit on the couch, have a beer, kick your feet up, you know, turn on some Netflix, whatever. That's not me. I'm sure it's not yourself either. And I'm the type that comes home and I'll eat something and I'm on the computer, you know, I'm working, I'm trying to figure out how I can progress the business and keep growing too.
Yeah.
And that's the difference maker too. And that's for the listener out there. I mean, you guys can be that as well. It's just constantly thinking how you can expand, generate more income. You can call it a side hustle, whatever you want to call it, but it's constantly, how can I continue to grow and have money coming in on different reasons, different sources, rather than what I'm just doing.
Yeah.
So
it's a game, and it's like, how do you get to the next level? Just like on any video game, how do you get to the next level?
Yeah.
You know, how do I get stronger, better, faster to, you know, get to the next level? So
yeah, exactly. Let's wrap this up. Love this question. I always ask everybody on my show. I kind of made a little different side thing on my social media with this, but what about you personally? You're building an amazing company and brand that continues to grow each and every day. What lessons have you learned throughout your journey that we should all apply to our own business or lives that can help us grow?
I love that question. And I would just say, overcoming adversity. You know, there's always going to be challenges and hurdles, and when you can look at those challenges and hurdles like it's just an opportunity to grow, and you're being challenged for a reason because it's time to grow and take the next step. Don't look at it like I can't do it, because you can do it. I had to pay back a client $220,000. And when we found that out in the office because of some Porsche dealership running a scam on allocations, I sat back in my chair and I said, "This is great. Oh my goodness. Like, what the hell is going on? You telling me I'm in a position to have to pay somebody like 220 grand? Holy shit," you know? And my cousin there, he's like, the hell are you talking about? This is terrible. How are we going to do this? Like, this is what? He's over there losing his mind. I'm over here like, hold on, this is great. Do you know how much better we're going to get from this? I was like, bro, we're going to pay him back. We're going to make money. We know how to do that. But like, do you know how much better we're going to get from overcoming this? And he couldn't see it, but I could, because I've been put in that situation multiple times. So just whenever there's a negative, just know that there's an equal positive down the road that you just can't see it. So don't crumble yourself because you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. No, you really can't. Like, you really can. When you're moving in the right direction and you're vibrating at the right frequencies and you know you're doing everything the right way to do good business, when you're faced with those challenges, that's just the universe putting you in place to go where you really want to go. The path ain't gonna be smooth and easy. No. Like, got to go over those hurdles, and it's just a test to see how bad it is you want what you say you really want, and you can overcome that test. And when you do, you'll see that your business and your life will probably 10x from where it was. So just
yeah, I love that, man. It is true, because nothing's easy. Nothing's ever handed to you. Nothing's ever given to you easy. I mean, you can win the lotto, but that's rare. But it's just, business is hell. And you're always gonna, you're gonna have those peaks, and then it's just, you're gonna go way downhill at some point too. And if you just got to keep moving, though, like you said, and get through it. And it's easier said than done for a lot of situations, but when you get through those hard situations, that's what, like, you just face. I mean, $200K, that's not chump change, having to pay that back. It's not easy.
It's not. And I know it's short on time, but the biggest adversity I had to overcome was when we split up business. My cousin at the time was doing shady stuff with the money in the account, and we uncovered some shit, and I was like, yo, you're the one who brought me on, bro. And now, like, we got to go our separate ways, and now I got to do this on my own. Like, oh my goodness, like, what now? And after I completed the first year on my own, I was like, okay, you can do this. Like, you really do this, dude. Charge hard, man. Go for it. And I 10x myself, like, I started keeping all the profits instead of having to split it 3 ways. I'm starting to get more real estate opportunities. I'm starting to do more deals and grow. Like, this is great. And now I have my own company that I can build to see what it is. So, again, it's just, don't live in the future. Don't dwell on the past. Just be in the moment and do everything you can to control it, and you'll be successful.
Love it. Yeah, exactly. Next thing too, I always ask this, you brushed on this a little bit. Some people ask about your past. Let's ask about your future. Where will we see Jesse 10, 15, 25 years from now? Who will he be?
The best way to answer that is I'll be exactly where I need to be and where I'm supposed to be. I know where I want to go, and I know who I want to be. And I strive to be that and go in that direction every single day. So, where you'll see me in 5, 10, 15 years, when and if you see me, that's exactly where I'm supposed to be. Let's just put it that way.
Love it, man. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's true. You just
because I couldn't tell you 5 years ago that I'm going to be here. No way in hell. So I could sit here and tell you where I'm going to be. But that ain't, who knows, but I just know that I'll be where I'm supposed to be, like I am right now.
Well, you laid out that vision for Vet Adventures, and I have no doubt it's going to happen too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the drive. I got no doubt the company's going to blow up. It's going to be big, and it's going to continue to grow. I have no doubt about it. So we already predicted the future right there. So last question, what the show's all about. What exactly do people need to look for when buying, selling a home or car? And why should they choose Jesse as their realtor or car broker of choice?
What they need to look for is an expert, somebody who they can trust, who has a good reputation, who comes referred. And, obviously when it comes to a house, is what it is that they want. So again, you need an expert, somebody who's knowledgeable and knows the markets. And why, you should choose me is, if you resonate with me, if you connect with me, if you vibe with me, I'm not the best real estate agent. I'm not the best car person, but what I will provide you is my best overall service and give you my all. And I know that a lot of people might sell you a dream and give you, shit or whatever that phrase is. But when I say something, I mean it. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I don't know the answer to something, I have the resources too. So, again, if you want a great experience, if you want to create a long-term business relationship and probably eventually a friendship, somebody who you can trust and feel good about doing business with, then I'd be your person to do business with for sure.
I love it, man. Yeah, no doubt you're gonna blow up after hearing what you're doing, your vision on that company, man. Got a lot of respect for you and what you're doing. So I have no doubt that you're gonna do big things here in the future with that too, and we'll do big things together, man. I'm your go to contact. Well, there's obviously in the luxury building market too, so. Yeah, man. Big things in the future. I really do appreciate your time today, too. Where can people find and connect with you?
Um, Instagram at Piccolo Place, and then my business page is at Bet Adventures, and then Facebook Jesse Piccolo and Bet Adventures. I'm not hard to find.
New website coming soon.
Yep, it's under construction. You can go on there and submit your information or request something, or if you have something to sell, let me know. But the new website with the platform should be up by the end of January.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate your time today and taking this time.
I appreciate you. I'm a big fan, like I said.
Yeah, keep crushing it, man. Like I said, man, big things coming. We're gonna do big things here in the future too. So no, for sure, man. This was awesome. A lot of great value today too. You're killing it. Love the business and the plan and everything that's gonna come out of it. So obviously, to wrap this up, everybody, the routine. I don't ask for anything and don't advertise. Just like, share, comment, share with your friends and family. 5-star reviews only allowed on iTunes. You guys are listening to that. Thank you very much. So 5-star review this show. It goes a long way. And thank you all for listening. Appreciate you all. I will see you guys next time.